Exactly. And I want to know, can you tell me like what are the weirdest ways people have pronounced your name? Because
Oh
I
my
could
God.
go
Okay,
on
so I
this
get a
topic
lot. I get a
forever.
lot. The most common, and it's not the weirdest, but the most common is this is what I corrected my friend on last night. People go Rahat, because that's like the English, I think it's an English language
Right.
rule where the emphasis is on the second half, like the second vowel. So people go Rahat a lot, which I'm like, it's you're close, but it's not right. It's Rahat. Like the emphasis is on the first part of the word. So that's the like most common mispronunciation, but I've gotten some weird ones. I The weirdest is probably riot. I had a teacher in
God.
school called me riot, and I was like, that's kind of hard actually. I like that one. Let's let's put that on the list. I once went to a Tim Hortons and spelled my name for the person because I always do. Tim Hortons, Starbucks, doesn't matter. If anybody asks for my name at an order, I go, it's Rahat, Rahat. I spell it immediately because I don't need the time. I don't have the time for
Yeah.
the questioning, so I just go Rahat, Rahat. And this person, I kid you not, when I looked at the till, it said ratchet. It said Ratchet. I was like, that
I
is a lot
know.
of extra letters. You trying to tell me something? What's going on? So that felt personal. But the weirdest experience I ever had, oh my God, like the worst, I would say, not the weirdest, but the worst experience I ever had with telling my name to someone was in this environment. I was doing a play reading at a theater in Victoria, and there was all these people in this room that we didn't know because we were having lunch together with the company that was like putting up a play there, whereas we were just doing a reading. So we're all having this joint lunch, and this man, white man obviously, walks into this room and he's introducing himself to every single person involved in our project. Okay, he was walking around literally doing this. He goes, what's your name? Steve. I'm Paul, nice to meet you. What's your name? Dave. I'm Paul, nice to meet you. And he's doing that with every single person. Then he makes his way to me and he goes, what's your name? And I went, it's Rahat. And he goes, sorry, what? And I was like, it's Rahat. And I'm used to this, right? I went to university in Victoria. I did it 14 times every day. So I'm like, it's Rahat. And I did my silly mnemonic. I went, like Pizza Hut with a Rahat. And he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, and I was like, yeah, Rahat. At this point, I've said my name probably 4 or 5 times to this person. And he goes, well, I'm never gonna remember that, but it was nice to meet you.
Oh, I've had the same thing happen to me. I
Yeah.
actually had a class one time where it took the entire semester for this professor to get my name. Every day I was like, Mun Kieran, Mun Kieran. And then literally the last week, everybody in the class, that's why we were like, Mun Kieran. And he was like, yeah, Mun Kieran. So we didn't, it was like, this is a big win. But I know it takes work, but I appreciate you. And even me, I'm very stubborn. I want people to get
Yeah,
my name right. Like that's it.
absolutely. And
That's
it's
the
and
way
it's
it's going to be.
it's a simple ask, and like what that man, that Paul guy, I don't know if his name was Paul. I'm just making up white dude names, but like what he doesn't recognize, I'm like, you can't remember Rahat in a room full of Steves and Daves. You know how
Yeah.
many white dudes there are in this room? I'm supposed to remember that you're Paul? Like, what the hell are you talking about? But what it is it's a entirely like clear disrespect and invalidation of this person existing in front of you. This person who has a name that you may not know instinctively because it's not Steve or Dave, but
Yeah.
but it is a person and they have an identity. And if you are taking the time to introduce yourself to every single person in the room, you can learn how to say Rahat to the one brown woman in this room. And for you too, like, it's like that stubbornness of being like, I'm a student here. I'm just like Chelsea or whatever. Like, I am
Yeah.
just like this person. If you can remember Chelsea, you can remember Munkaran. And
Yes.
it's just it takes extra effort, yes, but it's extra effort that if you respect the person in front of you, you will put in that effort.
Exactly. Preach it. Preach it. I'm all for that. Now, Rahat, I could talk to you forever, but I do want to talk about your play now. Let's
Yes, true.
Unexpecting. Tell us about it and tell listeners, how they can go and check out this amazing play.
Yes, Unexpecting is a fabulous show. It is my director's calling it his lesbian baby making comedy, and which I love because what more do you need to know, really? And it is touching, it is hilarious, it is heartbreaking, and it's just a joyous night out, I would say. It's a show about a queer couple that have been trying to start a family for about 5 years, and it just goes into the challenges of that, how difficult that can be, not just for queer people, for just any people that want to have a family and it's just not working out the way they want, which is a thing a lot of people deal with, but specifically for queer couples who don't have, the biological like lineup necessary to just produce a child. They have additional hurdles, and it goes into the journey of adoption and stuff, and how challenging that can be, a process that not everybody knows a lot about. And the whole time it's rip roar and laugh. So I think people are gonna love it. People have been loving it. We're going into our final run now. We have six shows left, and I'm really excited to share it with people, because I think everyone that I've spoken to after the show has just felt really touched and really happy by the end of it. And you can check it out. It's going up at Studio 16, which is on West 7th in Vancouver. Studio 16, and we've got shows Wednesday through Saturday at 8 p.m. and we've got a couple matinees as well, in case anybody wants a daytime show, on Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. And you can check out the tickets at zeezeetheatre.ca. You'll find it right there. The show's called Unexpecting, and you're gonna love it.
Rahat, thank you so much for your time. We definitely need to invite you back on the show because I have so much more I want to talk to you about, but I want to let our listeners know, yes, anytime. Be sure to check out Unexpecting, presented by Zee Zee Theatre. Couple shows left, so you definitely want to get your tickets. And we just spoke to Rahat Saini, actor, storyteller, and comedian. Rahat, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.